Greetings from the Jazz Cloud. Richie Zellin here, welcoming you to the Jazz Guitar channel for a special fingerstyle chord melody lesson. In this video, I want to teach you my solo guitar arrangement of a standard that has become a tour de force for every serious jazz musician. Stella by Starlight, written by Victor Young and composed for the 1944 film The Uninvited. And it was first recorded in a jazz setting by Charlie Parker in 1952. So now that I've given you some brief historical background on Stella, let me play the arrangement for you and then I'll go over it slowly, measure by measure, so you can learn it. Before I proceed to teach it to you, I want you to be on the lookout for a simpler chord melody version with a detailed harmonic analysis that I'll be posting most likely next week. And that will be an arrangement to play in a duet or trio setting, and I will discuss multiple harmonic options you can explore to comp and improvise over this tune. So again, be on the lookout for that video. Today we are going to learn a solo fingerstyle version, and those of you who are familiar with my solo guitar arrangements know that I like to use keys other than the original. And that allows for the use of open strings, and in that manner enables me to incorporate chord voicings usually only playable on a keyboard. Well, I've got good news for you. This one I've kept in the original key of B flat, and I've still been able to use some cool, unique open voicings. So, if you really want to get deep inside Stella, oops, that came out wrong. Anyhow, you know what I mean. If you really want to get to know Stella, well, ask her out on a date. No, oh, sorry. Seriously, what I was going to say is consider learning this arrangement and using it as a solo introduction to the trio version that I'll be posting. And sorry. And as with all my arrangements, you can download a special package from my website containing a PDF with regular notation and detailed tab, an MP3 of me playing the arrangement, a band-in-a-box file, and a MIDI file. These last two, if you have the software, will enable you to loop and slow down. Sorry, folks, it's one of those days. It'll allow you to slow down and loop any section and make it much, much easier to learn. And I will put a link in the info section down below for those interested. So let's get started. So as you can see, I'm using a different guitar for the lesson because this one has the markings so you can orient yourself as to where I am on the fretboard. I like to start by saying that usually if I were to play this arrangement, I'd take several liberties, and I want you to do the same. The only reason I try to really stick to the written arrangement is so you can learn it and have a starting point. But as you're studying this and trying to learn it, if you hear different variations or rhythms, you know, that aren't identical to what's written, you can go for it. Feel free to do what you want with it. This is just a starting point. So we're going to do this in 4 measure segments, and it starts out with this beautiful B-flat 6 chord using an open D and G string. So again, we get this E minor 7 with an 11th and a walking bass, and then this passage here kind of echoes the first 2 notes. See? And then we're ready to go to measures 5 through 8. And we start with this F minor 9, 11. And now for measures 9 through 12, we start out with a really nice descending line, and it's more of in a Baroque style. And normally the melody is so basically we're harmonizing it with an F, a B flat, an A minor, a G minor, which leads us to the upcoming E minor 7 flat 5. So here it is in context. Okay, and this leads us to measures 13 to 16, and here again we have a similar Baroque passage as we had in measure 16, where we just did, only that this time it's and that takes us to letter B. So we're starting on measure 17 here. And we start out in the first 2 measures by outlining the G7 altered chord, which has the flatted 13 in the melody. And it goes like this. So notice that here, this is a little bit hard in the beginning to work out the initial two measures here for letter B. And that there is the sharp 11 of the G altered chord. And now we have a walking bass line, but not so much in a jazz context, but instead in a Baroque contrapuntal context. And it's like this. And some more counterpoint here. Two voice. So that's some very nice two voice counterpoint over the A flat 7 sharp 11. And that takes us to this. That's the lead-in going back to the main theme, which is actually taking us to measures 25 through 28. Like the beginning. But here, we have some modern impressionistic voicings over this A pedal. Play that again from the that takes us to the 31st measure, which is a very rich Lydian chord. I start with an arpeggio. And that would take us back to the top. So let's look at the coda. And in the initial performance of the piece that I did at the beginning, I went straight to the coda. So let's go two measures before the coda, and we'll take the actual coda. So measure 29. Coda. Just repeats. Now we retard. And measure 41, doing the same Lydian arpeggio I did earlier on measure 31. I pause there, and I play this final Lydian voicing, which is different. It's actually the same one I employed on measure 23. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed learning this arrangement as much as I enjoyed creating it. And be on the lookout for the detailed analysis of Stella coming soon. As usual, I welcome your likes, comments, and any questions you may have. And if this is your first time on the Jazz Guitar channel and you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell icon so you will be notified of my upcoming lessons. Peace be with you and see you in the next lesson.